All right, so what are we thinking about this whole new Whiskey Row whiskey?
I want to chug it because that's how good it is.
It is pretty good.
It's tasty.
Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
And I'm Zach.
And today we're going to review Old Forester's newest release, 1924.
Well, go ahead.
We good?
Yeah, you just... And then you didn't say anything.
I was just kind of excited about it.
So, yeah, talking about excitement.
Normally you interrupt me right as I say that, so it's like the perfect thing.
My bad. I'm wanting to jump a little bit.
Right.
So there's been 2 bottles since I've heard that they were going to come out. I've been super excited about this being one of them.
Yeah.
Want to take a guess what the other one is?
Is it out yet?
No.
Have you seen it?
The EHT.
Yeah, we don't have to say it. That barrel proof right. So, been super excited about this for a multitude of reasons. It's a new standard, like everyday kind of whiskey. It should be coming out from Old Forester. It's going to be older stock of Old Forester. I'm a huge fan of anything with an age statement from Old Forester.
They are stuff. Too. They're huge fans of.
Stop. And so, and just like my inner fanboy.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what, like, Dan from Bourbon Junkies, we were talking about this the other day. Like, just our inner child fanboy of this is just, like, beyond excited, right? So, they did a great job with it today. They released it out in the distillery today. They sent out an email. I think you had the ability to buy it online from them. You had the ability to buy it at Reserve Bar if you were able to get it shipped to your state.
Yep.
Also, just so that way you all know, if you go and do a tour until the end of January at Old Forester, you will have the opportunity to buy this bottle.
Do kind of like they did with 117 a while back. Yeah, they just kind of gave it the month and said, "Here you go."
So jump on the opportunity, get down there, do it. Should be good.
Now, the thing to think about this is, if you're thinking of Whiskey Row as a $40 to $60 bottle of bourbon, this is this is not that.
All right. Well, let me get to the other facts of the bottle first. So this is the 1924 from Old Forester. This is 100 proof. The mash bill of this is 79% corn, 11% rye. That's what they told us at the distillery. Now, they didn't add, or they didn't say the 10% malted barley, so I'm assuming that's what it is. Because if you look at the stocks that they would have and where it came from, it would be the early times mash bill that they use, or, as we pointed out, told Dave over here,
the Prince of Kentucky.
Same mash bill as King Kentucky as well. It's good to be the king.
Yeah. So, unless the 10% is just like love and affection. I don't know which one it is.
Well, they did say 79% corn.
Yeah, they did.
11% rye. They just didn't add the 10% malted barley, but I'm assuming we were the first group that went through, so I'm assuming that they meant to say that and that was just left out. But anyways, whenever we did go down there, and the price tag, I was talking about the price. So it is $115.
Yes.
10%, $10 a year roughly.
I may or may not have gotten one from Reserve Bar too today, so
you already got a backup.
I got a backup, and it was a little bit more pricey. It was about $25 more after taxes and shipping to get it from Reserve Bar as well.
So with all that being said, talking a little bit about Old Forester, by the way, whenever they sent out the email, with me living as close as what I am, I was able to head down there. And, they had balloons set up. They had coffee and cookies for all of us. We were able to go into the bar and try it. Their master taster, Melissa, she was there. She did her little talk about everything.
Yep.
They did a really good job of everything. They hosted everybody really well. And they were in and out. And they let people come in early, apparently, from the cold. So that way people weren't waiting.
Yeah, because it is cold here. It's about 10 or 11 degrees.
7.
Yeah.
7 degrees downtown.
So thank you for that. That was very, very kind. But the price being what it is, this is dang good. I mean, just giving you we got to try it there while we were waiting in line, and they gave their little spiel about why they decided to add another thing to the Whiskey Row lineup and stuff, which is great. I love it when they make it worth. It's not just herding cattle and going through and getting your bottle.
Yeah, that I agree. So there's like it's like if you blended like hot cocoa, like hot cocoa powder, and like if there was such thing as like a coffee powder.
Yeah.
That's like a good little blend right off the nose.
I mean, what really strikes me on this is the fudge part. There is like a fudginess to it right on the front. Maybe it's the cocoa too, kind of.
Sure.
Like all that right in there. But the oakiness in it too.
Yeah, I agree.
Really,
there's a strong
really
oak note to it, but it's much more of a like rich oak, and that's hard.
Yeah.
That's always hard for me to describe because I don't want to make it sound like it's like a young like oak, but it's definitely not like an older age. To me, it doesn't come off like an older age like oak either.
The nose on this I really enjoy.
I think the nose on it's fantastic.
Yeah, I really enjoy the nose on this a lot.
I honestly, I totally agree.
Maybe my favorite in a while of noses that I've had.
So I was sitting there thinking about it, and outside of like a handful of birthdays and outside of the Whiskey Row Fire, this is probably up there with my favorite noses. And that Whiskey Row Fire is like maybe my favorite nose.
Yeah, it was a good nose
that I've ever had on an Old Forester product, but this is like right up there with it. There's also like a little bit of a tobacco note on there, like a little bit of like a cigar cedar kind of note on there.
A little bit, yeah. I think on the palate, I think that the chocolate kind of, I think that note comes through there. I get more of the graham cracker. When she was talking to us today, she said that there's some cinnamon that comes through, and I think it does a little bit on the backside, but that is not the dominant. That is not the dominant taste.
Yeah, I don't get a ton of graham cracker, but what I do get is like almost like a little bit of like a cinnamon roll bread. Like I don't know if there is a cinnamon roll bread out there, but if there is, that's what that would come off.
My son gets cinnamon swirl bread all the time.
Oh wow! Bet you it's like gray as like toast or whatever.
He just takes it out the loaf and just eats it. He doesn't worry about toasting it or anything.
And there's also like a smidge of fruit that sits right back on the back side of the palate. There's there's hardly any fruit on this.
Yeah, hardly.
But there's a little bit that will sit on the back side of your palate.
I mean, this is an easy drinker, and
it really is. But it also coats really well.
Yes, it does.
There's some spice that kind of hits you on the back of your palate. It doesn't hit you hard or anything, but there's enough on there that just lets you know it's there, it's hanging out.
Yeah, I feel like that's the Old Forester just letting you know it's there.
And I think the good thing to that is that helps with that lower proof.
Yes, yeah, because I think it gives you a false sense that not that it's trying to lie to you, but it lets you feel like you're drinking something a little bit higher proof than what the 100 is, which, I thoroughly enjoy this.
I really do too. I'm really happy with it. I mean, we could sit there, like, don't get me wrong, we could sit there and argue out the price and say, look at the rest of the Whiskey Row, where their price at and where this price at, and that's a fair conversation if you want to have it. I'm honestly not worried about it because I think this is a great addition to not only Old Forester, I think it's a great addition to Whiskey Row because I think it's very different than everything you have on there. Like, the Bottle and Bond, like, I assumed it was going to be, like, similar to the Bottle and Bond, right? And I don't think it is.
No,
I think it's its own animal. And I think you get a little bit, like, as I'm sitting here, there's a smidge of, like, barrel char that just kind of sits there. It's not a lot, but you do get a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm. I think all in all, that's really good. I hope that it, just because this has been classified as a Whiskey Row collection, part of the Whiskey Row collection, that people don't underestimate what it is.
I agree.
And I think the price point for what it is, 10-year stated, it's age stated. Like, that doesn't happen.
Well, and that is something too. It coming from happen. Old Forester, an age stated product, like, that is correct. I mean, everything that Brown-Forman basically will put an age on, for the most part, crushes.
Yes.
Regardless of the distillery, right? Yeah. So, but Old Forester, I mean, traditionally they have a lot more younger stuff than most. Now they make that work. All their young stuff is pretty great, and we could talk about heat cycling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just overall, I think it's really, really good. It's very, to me, as a Brown-Forman fanboy, this is the kind of stuff I want.
Yeah.
Like, that's that profile.
And if I'm honestly speaking, I would just not buy 1897, 1910, and buy this for the same price you get those two for, and add this to your collection, because this drinks really good. You know, beside the 1920, those two like just drink so well that you can forgo the other ones if you really wanted to pick that up.
Now, I was talking whenever I went to an event last year, the 150th event, and whenever I was talking to a couple of Brown-Forman employees, pretty high up employees that I think would kind of, have a good, I would say would have a good grasp on what they think is going to happen with this, because they understood what happened with 1910, and they don't want to see the same issues with 1910. They know, they even said, like, we know people are going to sell and flip it right off the bat, and we know that it's going to sell out really quick, but they plan on it not lasting as long, because like 1910 lasted almost like 8 months to a year, and they're trying to cut that time frame down to where that these will be more on shelves. And from everything we're gathering, that these are going to be sitting on shelves. So, the conversation that I've also had, and I don't know how true it is, I've heard there's 1,600 barrels of this. I've heard there's more than 1,600 barrels of this. So I don't know. So I can't confirm that, because I honestly, I don't know. It's just kind of what we're hearing from certain people. But with all that being said, it sounds like, at least locally, there's going to be a lot of it going around. So we're hoping that in most markets, it's going to...
Yeah, I was going to say...
If you have Whiskey Row in your market, I would think you're going to have a pretty good shot at getting it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you can get Whiskey Row, because that's what they want this to be. This is Whiskey Row. Now, this might be the new flagship of Whiskey Row because of price point and everything, but, like...
Man, that nose really starts to pop on this.
You should
a lot
be able to
more
get
of those.
And I would say buy it. Like, it's not a try or anything.
I don't even question it. Yeah, I would buy it. I think them coming out with this start of the year, I think, is a strong drop at the beginning of the year. Yeah. And I kind of like it. As much as I wanted it last year, I kind of like that they waited till the start of this year. Yeah. Because whenever it comes to us looking at things, this is a strong lead. Yeah. Going into 2024.
And I just think they do 100 proof really well. Like, between this and the single barrel 100 proofs, man, there's a
lot more going on with this at 100 proof than what you would think.
Yeah.
So
for sure. All right. Well, tell us if you have it, which you probably don't. Maybe you do. By the time it's come out,
eventually.
You'll get it eventually. Yeah. So just enjoy that part of it. Hit the like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and till the next time.
We'll see you.
We'll see you.
That's really good.